Hi, I'm Pam. I'm 60 years old, and I am part of the 52 Hike Challenge. I love to hike, and in the upcoming year, I'm hiking into a new chapter of my life. It's called the 52 Hike Challenge. This challenge dares me to get off my butt and go on at least one hike every week for the entire year. I'm also part of Over 50 Outside. This is a supportive community of women over the age of 50 who are passionate about exploring the outdoors together. I'd like to share my journey with you over the coming year, taking you along for the good and the bad. Now, getting to the starting point of this 52 Hike Challenge has been a long road for me with many ups and downs, and it certainly hasn't been an easy journey. Maybe my long and difficult journey can inspire other older women. Old is subjective, you know. At 60 years old, when I hear Over 50 Outside, it's funny because 50 sounds young to me now. There are so many ways to get yourself outside to be in nature, whether you are healthy and fit, overweight, disabled, or just a self-proclaimed couch potato. In my videos, I hope to show you how I've done it and help you discover things you can do to make it possible for you. I'll start with a bit of backstory. As a child growing up in Denver, Colorado, I hated exercise. I was a self-proclaimed bookworm and couch potato who refused to do anything that involved gasping or sweating. Really, I hated all forms of exercise. After I got out of college, I went on an overnight trek into the Great Sand Dunes National Park with my boyfriend. Now, I was slightly overweight and soft, and he carried all of my stuff, and I still barely kept up with him. But when I collapsed into our tent that night, and I looked outside and up at the gazillions of shimmering stars so far away from artificial lights, and the sound of nothing but nothing, I fell in love with hiking. Oh, I still hated to sweat or breathe hard, but I came to the grudging realization that if I wanted to hike, I had to be in better shape. I also came to the realization that getting into shape is easy for some people, and unfortunately, I was not one of those people. I belonged to the other side, the couch potato side. I had to gasp and sweat for every ounce of muscle I gained. Counting calories really was essential, and the cardio, it wasn't easy then, it isn't easy now, and it will never be easy. Even so, at the age of 22, I rolled myself off the couch, said a sad farewell to the bowl of potato chips on my lap, and my hiking career began. Moving ahead to the spring of 2000, I was 37 years old and I spent a week in the Grand Canyon backcountry with my husband, Walt. Now I know a lot of people hike down to the Colorado River along the Bright Angel Trail. That trail is no picnic, with an elevation change of about 4,500 feet along a 16-mile round-trip hike. It's a challenging and impressive hike for anyone. But we loved the solitude away from the crowds, and we always hiked backcountry trails that no one knew about. Carrying 40 pounds of camping gear on our backs, we would follow obscure, brutally steep paths from the South Rim down to the Colorado River. We often saw only one or two other people in the course of an entire week. One of those people in that spring of 2000 was a woman who was 60 years old. Oh my God, 60 seemed so old back then, and I was in total awe of this woman in the bottom of the Grand Canyon as we briefly chatted. After we parted ways, I promised myself that would be me someday. And I did hold on to it for a while. Up until just before my first child was born, I kept hiking, but as soon as I had kids, I just couldn't do it. Now, fast forward 20 years. I was now 57 years old. I had gained 40 pounds, and I couldn't hike the easiest trails near my Tucson home without getting out of breath. So, on May 15th, 2020, I will always remember that date, the U.S. military was doing a flyover to honor all of the doctors and nurses coping with this terrible new COVID pandemic. As I looked up to watch the show, I stumbled off a 20-inch ledge at my house. I landed hard on my left heel, breaking the bone and twisting my ankle on the way down. A quick disclaimer here. A couple of the following images may be disturbing for some of you, so look away if you need to. As I landed, my Achilles tendon yanked on the broken calcaneus, splitting the bone in half and pulling part of it up past my ankle into my calf muscle. This resulted in a very creative restructuring of my leg. When I lay in the emergency room that afternoon, I remembered that amazing woman in the Grand Canyon. I was in terrible pain, and I wasn't sure I would ever even walk again without a permanent limb. The Grand Canyon felt like nothing but a pipe dream now, out of reach forever. But it was when I saw a nurse's note describing me for the surgeon that I went into real shock. Holy crap, I was not an obese older woman struggling with depression. I still saw myself as that graceful older lady in the canyon, inspiring awe in younger hikers. I was a hardcore hiker, wanderwoman in the wilderness. But no. Actually, I was an overweight, depressed old woman. I was a failure. I cried for a week. My nameless canyon woman, the real wilderness wanderwoman, became my guiding beacon through 2 surgeries, months in a wheelchair, losing 40 pounds, and endless physical therapy. 2 years later, in May of 2022, I had worked my way up to walking about 5 miles a day, fairly regularly, and I decided my Grand Canyon training would start for real. In the past 6 months, I have completed 4 5K races and still counting. I ran my very first half marathon on my 60th birthday in October. Well, okay, I half walked it, but it was over 13 miles and I did run more than half of it. And best of all, 3 weeks ago, Walt and I got our permit in the mail for a 5-day Grand Canyon backcountry hike in April 2023. My wanderwoman talks to me every time I go hiking now. She keeps me company and nudges me just a bit further every time I decide I can't keep going. And I'm very excited about the 52 Hike Challenge. I can't wait to meet the other women in the Over 50 Outside program and to hear their stories. And if I can inspire just one younger hiker the way my wanderwoman keeps inspiring me, I'll know I've succeeded. Oh yeah. And I've decided that I am going to stop coloring my hair and let the natural gray grow out this year. I'll keep you posted on that as well. That's it for now. Hike 1 of 52 starts soon, so I will see you then.